Hi, my name is Karla Blair, and this is my husband Chuck, and we want to share a testimony of God's faithfulness and His ability to restore your life and give you beauty for ashes. So many years ago, things happened in my life that I thought would never be resolved, that I thought would really potentially cause me to never be able to be happy again. But God has really done an amazing work in our life. In 1988, when I was a junior in college, I became pregnant and subsequently had a baby girl who I thought the best thing at that point in time was to put her in the hands of a family who could really care for her. And so that's what I did. After a week of caring for her, I put her in the hands of a social worker. We went to court and I signed papers to put her up for adoption. And as I stood in front of the judge and cried through that entire ordeal, he kept asking me, "Are you sure this is what you want to do?" And I said, "No, but I know this is what I need to do." My only request at that time was for her to be brought up in a Christian family, and I didn't know anything else what would happen after that. And all I could do, even though my lifestyle was not indicative of a Christian, I had enough of God in me to know that if I put her in His hands, that I could trust Him with that. And so I handed the social worker the last bottle of breast milk that I had, and I watched them drive away. And all I could do was ask God to watch over her. And so I tried to go back to school, but it became very difficult. I cried constantly. I wasn't sleeping properly. I wasn't eating properly. And I finally just had to leave the East Lansing area and decided to go back to my home area because I could not deal with the pain of it any longer. I didn't even realize at that point in time what we know now is depression. But God was still working with me and helping me to begin to overcome it. But it took many, many years. And even at that point in time, I wrote a letter to the family and I asked them if they could just every now and then send me a picture or just write me a note through the agency and let me know how she was doing, because I just wanted to make sure she was okay. And the answer that came back through the agency was no. And I was absolutely devastated. I thought, that's it. I'll never be able to see her again. I went on, eventually, a couple years later, I did wind up marrying her father. We did wind up having 2 boys after that. But the marriage didn't last, and we divorced. And my boys were very young at that point, and I was able to, God blessed me with a job at that time with one of the most successful software companies in the world. And I began working and just living my life. I later met my wonderful husband, Chuck. We got married, had another son, but all that time, the thoughts of my daughter never left me. Then in 2009, I really began to see God restoring things in my life. In 2009, I found my father, who I didn't know existed my entire life, and we were reunited in 2009. In 2010, God helped me and restored my education, and I finally completed my bachelor's degree in accounting. The restoration of that relationship with my father and with my education was just amazing. So 2009, 2010. And then in 2011, on July 17th, finally found that paperwork that I've been looking for to petition the state of Michigan so that they would release the records. And when I looked at that paperwork, I thought, God, you helped me find my father so easily once I started. Can't you just help me find my daughter? I know you know exactly where she is. You've watched over her all these years. I know it. It had already been 23 years. And I said, Lord, I don't know. I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm just hoping that one day you'll do it. And the very next day, I was on a layover in Phoenix, Arizona. And I stopped in to see my aunt, and I stopped in to see my 2 nephews. And while I was with my nephews in a restaurant, my phone rang and I saw it was a 517 area code, and I thought, No, okay, they probably have the wrong number. But I answered the phone. I said, hello, this is Karla. And they didn't say anything, so I thought, wrong number. And so I said, hello, one more time. Still didn't hear anything, and I was about to hang up the phone. But just as I was about to hang up the phone, I heard a voice say, hello, is this Karla? And I said, yes, this is Karla. With whom am I speaking? And they hesitated, they didn't say anything. And then I said, hello, with whom am I speaking? And they said, did your name used to be Gardner? And now I'm really curious because obviously they know who I am and I don't know who they are. And the voice, and I said, yes, it did used to be Gardner. And then the voice finally said, well, I think I'm your daughter. And I said, what? Oh my God. And then I paused. I said, no, wait, maybe this really isn't. Maybe it's a mistake. And I said, well, when is your birthday? And she said, February 24th. And that's when I just said, oh my God, oh my God. And all of a sudden I realized that what I've been waiting for 23 years was finally happening in the middle of a restaurant in Phoenix, of all places. And the tears just started to roll down my face. And I realized that at that moment that the dream was finally coming true. And I told her, I said, I don't know if I'll ever get to talk to you after this moment. So what's in my heart to tell you at this point in time is that I never forgot about you. I never stopped praying for you. I never stopped thinking about you. I carried you with me in my heart all these years. And I said, I don't know what will happen from this moment on, but I said, if nothing else, I just want you to know that. And I could tell she was crying, and we were both crying. And as we just sat on the phone and talked for those few minutes, I could tell that she did want to know who I was, and that she had been longing to meet me and to know who I was as well. And I just saw in an instant God restore so much in my life over the last few years. I just subsequently, in the span of 3 short years, restoring the relationship with my father, completing my education, and then finally finding my daughter after all these years. And all I could think was, oh my God, you're so faithful. God is so faithful. And that really is everything that I want to say is just God is faithful, and that you can trust Him with your past, you can trust Him with your present, you can trust Him with your future. And for me, I saw just the fruition of Isaiah 61, where He says that He will give you beauty for ashes and the oil of joy for mourning. And that's what I've been experiencing. It's only been 2 weeks since I found her, and just this entire 2 weeks, that's all I've been able to say is He's giving me beauty for ashes. That part of my life that I thought was crushed and I thought would never be resolved, He just brought it back in such a beautiful way. I'm so thankful.